a child of Polish immigrants.
Yes.
Were you born in Poland?
No, I was born in Sweden. My older sister was born in Poland, and then my parent fled for a better life, and so I was born in Sweden. And
But they grew up, or you grew up speaking Polish with them, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And how did that, I mean, I'm guessing that contributes to a sense of being an outsider in the country that you were born in. How did that drive you towards making a decision on what you wanted to do later on?
I was in a school with kind of regular kids, but obviously financially speaking, we were worse off than most of my friends. And I do think that my parents being academical backgrounds, but not being able to put that into practice in Sweden due to that. And my father was unemployed for a couple of years. He also drove a cab, and my mother was an early retiree. So there was definitely that sense that I do think the second generation of immigration kids come with, which is a little bit that like your parents sacrificed their lives to kind of give you a better future, and you feel like somewhat responsible for trying to somehow give some or do something about it, and kind of you feel that you could have a better life, right? Like, or you should do something to get a better life.
You were very entrepreneurial as a child, weren't you?
Yeah, it's kind of odd. I don't really know where it came from, but I remember I was reading already a 12, 13-year-old. I was reading Richard Branson's book about Virgin, and
you picked that up on your own as a 12 or 13-year-old?
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. And same thing. I mean, obviously, the big entrepreneur of Sweden was the founder of IKEA, Ingvar Kamprad. It was like the god in that sense. And then it was just early on. I've been reflecting on it. I did so many different things. I tried to I realized we had a bicycle lane outside our house where a lot of people were bicycling. So it's a lot of traffic, foot traffic. That means a lot of customers. So I was trying to get my sister to start factory making pictures and paintings and trying to sell them to people that would pass by. And I had all these ideas. And I remember being upset with our local radio station. I thought the programming was very bad. So I called them as a 13-year-old and started providing them advice of how they should change their programming to increase their number of listeners. And not so well. I think they kind of listened nicely, kindly, and then kind of hang up. And and I'm not sure my advice was that accurate. But I don't know why. I just always passionate about doing things, testing things, trying things, and business somehow attracted me early on.
And you also give the Swedish government credit for some of your success because it had its program where it would basically give every family or allow every family in Sweden to have a computer so that the kids would grow up with an understanding of how to use computers.
Yeah, I think I strongly believe that one of society's biggest responsibilities is to provide everyone with kind of the best prerequisites to do whatever they want to do in life and excel in life, right? And I think that as much as we talk about the American dream, Sweden is actually one of the societies in the world with the highest social mobility. So number of people coming from kind of low income background to high income background is actually higher in Sweden than in the US, according to statistics. And I do think that part of that is tied to the fact that there's free healthcare, free education. And so it's really a society that's built around the fact that if you do want to do something with your life, society is set up in such a way that nothing should kind of stop you from achieving that, not your background, not where you're coming from. And one thing that the government did in additional to that, which was interesting, is that when I was 13 years old, we couldn't really afford a computer. Back then a computer was like $2,500 or something. Yeah. And so the government decided to subsidize computers, which was when we got our first computer. So it was called PC at Home reform, and that's when we bought our first computer. And I think that again, if you look at a lot of, I think Sweden, Stockholm has the most fintech per capita in the world after Silicon Valley. And I think a part of that was just because very early computer literacy due to reforms like that, in combination with people who were ambitious and wanted to do something different and learned early on to program and learned computers. And I think you see the results of that.